Or let's bring in music journalist Alan Cross. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. First, your reaction, particularly with this news coming just a few weeks after that emotional farewell show.
If you're a metal fan, this is the equivalent of Elvis Presley dying. There's just no other way to put it. Sabbath and Ozzy were the progenitors, the inventors of what we know as heavy metal, and countless bands have been influenced by their sound, and now the world is a whole lot less metal than it was just 12 hours ago.
As you stated, his legacy oversized, particularly for metal fans. Of course, not without controversy, but in music and pop culture. Explain for younger audiences who might know him from reality TV more in the 2000s, how much his performance, the music, meant to so many fans.
In the late 1960s, Ozzy was in and out of a bunch of bands. He was with a group called Earth, and they had to change their name. One day they were across the street from a theater that was showing a 1963 Boris Karloff film called Black Sabbath. And Ozzy had a brainstorm. He said, look, this is what we want to do. This is our sound. We are going to bring the aesthetic of horror movies to music, to rock and roll. So they embarked on the first album, which they recorded in one day, which featured a lot of really dark, scary, spooky, demonic sort of songs. And that really triggered this new sound. By the time they released their second album, Paranoid, in 1970, they had invented this brand new genre of music that right now, today, is one of the largest genres of rock music anywhere in the world. The world would be a lot different if it weren't for Sabbath and Ozzy.
Of course, as you kind of lay this out, not without controversy, from the performance, the imagery, as you mentioned, the dark, frightening imagery, the heavy metal sound, and a whole lot of personal struggles, too. How does that fit into the narrative of his life?
Listen, Ozzy was the consummate rock star. He was the guy who behaved badly, but then somehow managed to bounce back almost every single time. There were drugs, there was alcohol, there was sex, there was all kinds of abuse to his body. In fact, Ozzy took so many drugs and drank so much that there was, at one point in the early, well, not that long ago, maybe a decade ago, there was a scientific study into Ozzy's genome. And doctors found that he had a specific genetic mutation that made him immune to a lot of the things that he was taking. If a regular human being had ingested and done what Ozzy had done, they'd be dead. But Ozzy was genetically programmed. His genome was set to be full tilt, super intense, no holds bar rock star. And that's what we got.
Right up until the last couple moments. Music journalist Alan Cross, appreciate your time to discuss the death of rock legend Ozzy Osbourne. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.